Welcome students to the science class. This is the part 2 of the chapter Fiber to Fabric. Topics to be covered here are animal fibers and its types, study of animal fibers, wool and silk, study of synthetic fibers, study of blended fabric, advantage and disadvantage of synthetic fiber, and a brief study about the difference between natural and synthetic fibers. So let's start with animal fibers and its types. Fibers that are obtained from animals are called animal fibers. They are mainly obtained from animals like yak, camel, goat, rabbit, etc. There are different processes by which the hairs of animals are removed and processed to get fibers. Wool and silk are some common example of animal fibers. A brief study would be done about these two fibers, how are they obtained, and we'll study about their properties. This is how animal fibers is obtained. It is mainly obtained from fleece of sheep, goat, and other hairy animals like yak. The process of removing hairs from the sheep is called shearing, which is done with special instruments called clippers. After shearing, the bales of wool are cleaned and then combed by a machine. This process is done in mills. The clean wool is spun to form fibers, which are then woven or knitted to make woolen cloth. Knitting can be done by hands or by machines. While cotton consists almost entirely of plant cellulose, wool consists of approximately 97% protein and 3% fat, which makes it uniquely suited for certain applications that cotton isn't suited for. According to World Atlas, Australia produces 25% of the world's wool, which makes it the most prominent wool producing country. This is the steps that are shown for processing wool fiber. The first step is shearing. The production of wool begins and the shearing of wool bearing animal is done. After shearing is the cleaning of wool, then sorting it into bales, then carding. It is the process of making the fibers into long strands. After this, the spinning process takes place, which is spun into yarn, then weaving, and then production of the fabric. These are the steps involved to obtain wool fabric from wool fibers. The next is the types of wool. There are varieties of wool that we obtain. Merino wool, it is the world's most common type of wool. Kashmira wool, it is one of the most expensive and luxurious wool. Mohair wool, it comes from Angora goat, which is incredibly thick, wavy wool. Alpaca wool, they are breeded in South America for 1000 of years, quite old one. Camel wool, it is incredibly insulative but is less durable than other type of wool. Virgin wool, it is also known as lamb's wool. It is made from a lamb's first shearing. Angora wool, it comes from a special breed of rabbit having incredibly fine and soft hairs. Vicuna wool, it is exclusively native to Peru and most expensive wool in existence. Llama wool, it is generally too rough to be worn next to the skin. So these are different type of wool. Now let's see the properties. Wool is flexible, it absorbs moisture and dirt, it is flame resistant, it keeps our body warm in winters as it has got pores present in it which acts as an insulation. that is the body's temperature cannot go out and cold temperature cannot enter. So it insulates the body and keeps our body warm. So these are some properties of wool. The next is about animal fibers, that is silk, which is quite expensive and quite common and is quite old fibers even. The first silk was developed around 5000 to 8000 years ago in China. It came to India from China and spread in Europe, Africa, and Middle East. The trade routes between these countries were known as Silk Route. Silk is produced from cocoon of silkworm. These silkworm feed on mulberry leaves and secretes an unbroken fiber cocoon around itself. When silkworm enters the pupa stage, it completely encloses itself in a cocoon made of silk. This cocoon is boiled and unwound to form the fiber. This fiber is then spun to form silk yarn. As you can see in the figure, these are different type of yarns obtained from the cocoons of different type of silk. Mulberry silk, tussar silk, eri silk, muga silk, and their cocoon structure and the yarn obtained, you can see it in the figure. The next is about the rearing of silkworm, and this silkworm rearing and processing of silkworm from the cocoon is called as sericulture. The next is the process in short, as it is shown that how we obtain fibers from the cocoon. Heating of the cocoon first. Once the silkworm cocoon are harvested, they are exposed to high heat to prevent the mature worms from emerging. Unraveling the cocoon. A silk worker or an automated machine will brush the cocoon to find the loose end and load it through proclaim eyelet onto a reel that unravels silk strands. The next step is the loading. As the silk strand loads onto the reel, it is automatically attached to another strand to make a continuous string. Then twisting of the yarn. Silk producers twist these long strings together to make the yarn. Then rolling, the silk yarn is put through the roller to make it uniform. Then comes your dyeing. Silk textile manufacturer dye their yarn in different colors and then bleach them so that the color shine comes out. Then after the yarn is formed, the weaving is done in order to make the garments or another type of textile. So this hot water makes the cocoon fiber makes the silk of the cocoon to separate out. The long fibers are obtained by unwinding the threads to form the cocoon. This process is called reeling. Now, properties of silk. It is quite an expensive one, pure silk. It is the strongest natural fiber. It dries quickly and does not shrink. Silk threads are fine, soft, and light in weight. It retains its shapes, drapes well, and has a natural shine. Silk fiber get damaged by perspiration, perfume, hairspray and on bleaching. Therefore, perfumes and hairsprays they are not applied directly on the silk fibers or fabrics, and they need a quite good protection care to keep, otherwise they get damaged easily, mainly the pure silk fabrics. So you need a lot of care. The next is synthetic fibers. They are widely common nowadays. They are man-made fibers and manufactured by using chemical substances. The raw material used for making these fibers, they are mainly obtained from petroleum. During refining of petroleum, various chemicals are obtained, which are the main source. The fibers which are prepared from these chemical substances in industry are called synthetic fibers. They are used to make fabric, carpet, ropes, strings, etc. Synthetic fibers are created by the process called as polymerization, which involves combination of small chemical units which are called as monomers, and monomers combine together to form a long chain or a polymer. Chemical compounds which serve as a raw material for synthetic fiber do not possess fiber forming property unless and until they undergo chemical reaction, and then the product that is formed is allowed to pass through the spinnerets which are having small pores. Long threads come out from these pores which are allowed to cool and solidify. These threads so formed are twisted to form yarn, which is further used to make fabric. Like examples are nylon, polyester, acrylic, rayon. In detail, you will be studying about them in your higher classes. Properties of synthetic fibers. These fibers have good tensile strength, means they are very strong. It dries easily and do not absorb water. They are wrinkle free and do not need ironing. They can be blended with other natural fibers to form blended fabric. They are light in weight, easily affordable and does not fade. So, because of these properties, synthetic fibers have become very common among the people nowadays. Advantage and disadvantage of synthetic fiber. They do not shrink, they are wrinkle free, they last for a longer period of time, do not fade, and they are very strong fibers. These are the advantages. Disadvantages, they do not absorb water or sweat, so they are not comfortable to use in hot and humid conditions. They are non-biodegradable and hence cause harm to the environment. They easily melt and burn to form sticky beads. As a result, while working with fire, we should not use synthetic fiber. If there is a fire accident, they get melt and stick to the body, which cause a lot of damage. So, it is dangerous to wear them while we are working with fire. Sometimes they cause irritation to the skin because they are made up of chemicals, so skin reaction can also take place. Therefore, many people do not use synthetic fiber if they are very having sensitive skins. Now the next topic is blended fabric. Polycot is a fabric which is a mixture of cotton and polyester fiber. Let us see what is it. Blended fabric is made by combination of one or more fibers which result in formation of a new fabric with unique properties. The main idea to make blended fabric is to combine fibers with certain qualities with fiber of other qualities that complement each other. Like cotton gets wrinkled easily and it is quite difficult to handle this fabric. The moment you use it, wear it, wash it, you have to iron it. So it takes lot of care. But it is soft and comfortable, while polyester does not get wrinkled. It is durable and you can wash and wear it. So both of these fibers combine to get a new fabric which is durable, comfortable and wrinkle resistant. So this is blended fabric. Advantages of blended fabric, like it makes the fabric low cost and that everyone can afford. It improves handle of the fabric, it lasts for a long time, improves property like durability, easy care, softness, resistance to wrinkles, easy to wash. It helps to overcome the disadvantage of natural and synthetic fiber. So, it is a blending of natural and synthetic fiber together, like polyester plus wool, polywool, wool plus cotton, cotton wool. So, these are different type of blended fabrics. Then last topic is comparative study of natural and synthetic fiber. It is completely obtained from nature. First, we'll discuss about natural fiber and then synthetic fiber. It is completely obtained from nature. It is comfortable to wear in hot and humid areas because they allow air to pass through its pores. It keeps the body cool. It becomes ash after burning, so cloth made of natural fiber does not stick to the body and it is environment friendly. But natural fibers are quite expensive, even so it is not affordable by common people. Synthetic fiber, it is completely man-made and chemical substances are used for its preparation. These fibers are not as comfortable as natural fibers product. It melts on burning, so its fabric sticks on body after burning. It is not environment friendly. So synthetic fiber, although it is very commonly used, but it do not serve the complete requirement for the people. Thus, the summary of this topic, animal fibers are also a type of natural fiber which are obtained from the hairs of animals like sheep, goat, yak, rabbit. Wool and silk are different type of animal fibers. Synthetic fibers are man-made fibers manufactured from chemical substance by the process of polymerization, and in detail of polymerization we'll be studying later on. Various type of synthetic fibers are nylon, polyester, acrylic, rayon, etc. Combination of two different type of fibers whose property complement each other are combined together to form a different type of fiber which is called as blended fiber. So this is all in this video. Thank you.